Good evening and welcome along to another live stream from Dundee United here with me, Daniel. Thank you for joining along and being here as always. It is greatly appreciated. We've got a big one planned this evening. It's probably our penultimate episode of the series. We're hoping that we can win the big game, which will be the first one here. We're going into our top six split, but before that, we've got a Scottish Cup semi-final. If we win that, we get to the final, and that will be the grandstand finale on Saturday morning. So hopefully you're looking forward to that. If you are, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. Thank you for coming along and waiting as always. It is greatly appreciated. It's lovely to have a few of you here already and a big thumbs up on it. So thank you for the support, and I hope you're looking forward to it because it's going to be a cracker. Come and get involved down in the chat as you would normally. It does make a big difference. And thank you as always for all the support both here and on Twitch recently. We're coming up to 2,500 subscribers on YouTube. You can see all the new followers over on Twitch as well. So it really is appreciated. But today, we've got the big game coming up. It's Dunfermline Athletic in the semi-final of the Cup. And that is the one that is going to be the big one for us. If we lose it, we're in big trouble. Because it's the only thing we've got left to play for this season. We're not realistically going to catch Rangers or Celtic. John, good evening. Lovely to have you in as always. Alan, let's go Dundee United. We need a big one today. It's our final chance to do something special. We won the League Cup in that dream first season we had a long time ago. But this is the big one. If we can finish on a Scottish Cup, that would be absolutely incredible. Touch wood we can. Let's see what happens. So I hope you're looking forward to it. Dylan, good evening. Another one of the regulars. Lovely to have you all coming in so early. I hope you're looking forward to it. Because it's probably the final week with Dundee United, let's be honest. We'll come up with a plan for what we're going to do after this series based on Twitch, based on the Euros as well. So I'll get you involved in the Discord and on the YouTube community page over the next few days. But let's go and get into it, shall we? I mean, we've played loads of games off camera. We said there's not much to play for in the league, so let's just get through them. I can't actually remember what the last game was we played last time. I think it was Inverness. Since then, we played Motherwell and won 2-0. O'Reilly and Mitchell got the goals. 1-0 against Hibs, a Kieran Law penalty. We lost 3-0 against Celtic as we rotated the side. We beat Falkirk 3-0, Mitchell's brace and Mockery. Livingston 3-0, Mitchell, Serrano and Lord. And 3-1 against Dunfermline, today's opponents. Zach Medley scored early for them, but Mockery, Mitchell and Serrano turned it around for us early doors. So that's where we are at the moment. We're basically in a position where this is do or die for us. If we don't get the victory today, the season's essentially over before it's finished. So I don't want to put a downer on it, but this first 15 minutes is essential. Since you're with me, we've also had our latest youth intake as well. So I'll show you the ones that have and haven't been signed. So there were a couple of really good youngsters in there. One with 4-star potential is Stan Lyle. So he's okay, to be fair to him. He's not a bad little player. There's another one, I think that was this season's one, Tiehi, an Ivorian winger, who doesn't look great, but he's got a good personality. But if we go into the senior squads, there was another one who looked absolutely brilliant. But having said that, I now can't find him. So that's a little bit underwhelming as well. There he is. So he's picked up an injury, that's why. But we have got a superstar through the intake. We'll go and have a look at that in a moment. Dylan, why don't you possibly do a PES tournament on... a Euros tournament on PES as the game is free. Oh, is it? I didn't realise. I'll have a look. You could charge perhaps 50p per entry, then draw the teams at random to viewers. Oh, you're thinking like a businessman. I'm not capable of that at this point. If we've got a chance, we'll do it. So basically, the week that's half May, half June, I think it might be like the school half-term week. I've got half a week off there, so I'm hoping I'll be able to do something special then. But I was thinking of something real Euros based as well. Maybe some watch along, something like that. It's up to you guys what you want. I wouldn't do any of the big UK games, the ones we're supporting, but I love football. I'd like to live stream watch alongs for Austria v Macedonia or whoever's playing, you know. Jacob, don't bottle the semi-final. Far easier said than done, pal. I can't promise that won't happen. But the best player that came for our youth intake was this guy, Filip Ivanov. 1.5 ability, 5-star potential. He looks like a borderline wonder kid potential. He's an advanced forward. He's got all of the key attributes are brilliant. Maybe anticipation, the only one slightly off. I guess the problem is, looking at him already, he might be one that's injury prone. So we'll try and give him a debut before the end of the season if he's available. But for now, a real star through the youth intake at Dundee United, which has got to be a positive. Right, thank you for all the thumbs up. It's lovely to have you here. Please do chuck one if you haven't already. Come and get involved in the chat as always as we head into the big game. Dundee United v Dunfermline. Let's get it out the way. We can call the season quits if we don't get through it. But we have to win, really. We've got our first 11, I think, out. I think it's the strongest squad we've got. We've got to put a second keeper on the bench in this tournament, so Ali McCann will drop out. And that means our 11 for today is Ziga in goal, Brookin and Ramos the fullbacks with Jasimovic and Mengi the centre-halves, McCrory and Lord in the middle. We're not going to be able to keep him next season. The rest of them have been signed on, though. And then Serrano, O'Reilly and Mockery, the attacking three behind Mitchell up front. He's passed 20 goals for the season. We're in good form. But can we beat Dunfermline? We beat them in the last league game. But you know what we're like under pressure. Might not necessarily happen. El Gaming, welcome along. Lovely to have another one of the regulars in. Thank you all for joining along. And thank you for the support here and on Twitch as well. Thank you to the first 5 subscribers over on Twitch too. You do make a massive difference. But I'm nervous because I know I've said this is the last season. There's not really a huge amount riding on it. But I'd really love to win the Scottish Cup. It'd be a great way to go out. And look who's managing Dunfermline. It's Robbie Nielsen. The Dundee United fans in here will get the irony of that. He managed them to promotion from the Scottish Championship. Then he left for Hearts in the second tier again. So they'll get that one. But let's go and get into it. It's going to be a big game for us. Fingers crossed as we get through the tunnel interview, we don't bottle it. If we don't, we'll have a big event to finish off on Saturday for the final live stream of the series. But at this moment, it doesn't look guaranteed. We should be favourites. We should win comfortably. Let's go and see if we can do it, shall we? Into the first half we are. It's been a very quiet 10 minutes so far. That's not particularly good news for us, because I'd like to be in the ascendancy and creating chances by this point. We're 20 on the clock though. 1 shot on target apiece. We're actually behind on the possession. And we've not really seen much of the game as it's a long goal kick for our visitors. Although I think we're at HAMPDEN, aren't we? As Brookin goes down the line to Serrano. Can we create something here? Serrano gets towards the byline, cuts in on that left foot. He's got a chance to shoot here. It's a good tackle. Oh, he's given a penalty. It's another one of those. How on earth have they given a penalty for that? Incredible stuff. It will be Scott Mitchell to take it. Puts the keeper the wrong way. It's 1-0 to Dundee United. But let's be honest. There is no way in a million years that was a penalty kick. We have got away with one there. But Dundee United lead 1-0 and are a step closer to the Scottish Cup final. As they're playing out from the back with Medley and Thompson. Long ball downfield which Mengi wins. Now can we get the style on? We got a fortunate goal to put us ahead. But now let's make it no doubt. Serrano on the right. He's going again, the tricky winger. Will he cut inside this time? Just goes down the line instead. Good ball into Mockery who scores. I'm a lot better now, El Gaming. I hope you guys are well as well. I hope you're all having a good week. But it looks like we're going to have a Grand Slam finish to this series on Saturday morning now. Because we lead Dunfermline 2-0. And that's a really positive sign. I'd love to finish on a win. I really would. I know we're probably going to have an old firm side in the final. I think it's Rangers who are still in. But we can enjoy it nonetheless. As Mitchell's down, it's another penalty. What's going on here? We've got a penalty kick again. Scott Mitchell is going to step up. And for the second time, he can score from the spot. This time, he blazes it miles wide. Went for power. And Jacob, maybe that is the first time. The first chance, sorry. Still time to bottle it. And maybe that's a sign. Penalty missed, 10 to the break. It's 2-0. I think actually every time this year we've had 2 penalties in a game for one player. I'm sure one of them's been missed. On camera, that is. As O'Reilly's got it left-hand side. We're really on top now, though. As Mockery plays a 1-2 with Lord. Switches it into the right-back Brookin. Good block from the shot. Gets towards the byline again. Chips into the front post. Headed down more than away. It's back in again for Mitchell. I was so sure he was offside there. But it's in for 3-0. We've got to be through now. And Saturday morning we'll finish with a Scottish Cup final. El Gaming, thoughts on West Brom and Fulham? Fulham, defensively not good enough. They've got quality going forwards. They're a decent side. Scott Parker's an okay manager. But, You know, for as long as the director of football is the chairman's son, I don't think they're really going to progress, in truth. For West Brom, I'm a little bit conflicted on that. I'm a fan of Sam Allardyce. I actually think he's a good manager. I was a fan of Slaven Bilic, and actually their records are quite similar now. But I do feel a little bit like they weren't ever going to improve, so they should have left Bilic the chance to keep them up. But either way, the worst three sides end up in a relegation zone, and it's not even close, is it? So I don't think it can be argued with. But they'll be contenders next season again, I'm sure. As Serrano gets it right side of the box, Dylan's brought a Who Am I up. We'll get to that in a second. Brooking gets to the byline. Back to McCrory. Into the back post. It's knocked over. What a miss from Mockery. Jacob, didn't know you paid the officials off for this match. Neither did I. Maybe it's Scott Mitchell. Wants to look like a hero. Dylan's back with a Who Am I. I've played with Kieran Dyer. Darren Bent has room for a fourth with Serrano. It's a good save. And the rebound's out for a goal kick. El Gaming and their relegations, yeah, there's no surprises. There's no shocks. They're down there by a way. And I think they'll be in contention to come back up next year, though. So, I've played with Kieran Dyer, Darren Bent, Jonathan Woodgate, Jermaine Genus, Charles Nzogbia and Fabio Barini. So, are we assuming that, as Mitchell gets in again, we'll make subs in a moment. El Gaming's got one ready for after. We've got another penalty. Oh, I'll come back to this, Dylan. It's a third penalty of the game. Jacob, I'm sorry, Mitchell's paid him off. He's put this one in for his hat-trick. That is astonishing. I mean, we'll go and make changes now. But 3 penalties in one match. Mitchell scores 2 of them. I don't know what to say. I really don't. We will make some changes with complacent players coming off. Stevie Mallon on. We'll bring Sterling on at right back. And we'll bring Jason Kerr on at centre half. A comfortable window to finish off this one. And we are going to have a big game on Saturday at the very least. If you haven't already, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. Come and get involved with Dylan's Who Am I down in the chat. So, Dylan, your Who Am I, Woodgate and Bent, has got to be Tottenham, hasn't it? Surely. I'm just putting them together and thinking they have to be Spurs, those two. Now, the problem is the Kieran Dyer one, isn't it? Because Kieran Dyer could be Newcastle, but then that means so could Jonathan Woodgate. If not, he's going to be West Ham, maybe? But then Jermaine Genus could be either Spurs or Newcastle as well. So that's actually quite difficult. Fabio Barini, I'm guessing you're going to go for either Swansea or Sunderland. But then Charles Nzogbia, that narrows it down a little bit more. Have you put him in because of Wigan? Or is it going to be the Newcastle or Villa? Because actually, this could only be 2 clubs, potentially. El Gaming, can we do recently retired players? Of course, there's been a few of them in the series so far. Thank you to everyone coming in as well. It is much appreciated having you here. We've won the Scottish Cup semi-final 4-0, which means the final episode of this series on Saturday morning is going to be a cracker. Please do chuck a thumbs up if you haven't already. Come and get involved in the chat. So, Dylan, I'm going for a player that's going to have been mid-2000s Spurs or... So it's either going to be Sunderland and Newcastle or Spurs and Sunderland for me. So actually that makes it quite difficult, doesn't it? There are a few players that have been at both as well, so it's not the easiest one in the world, that. We celebrate getting through to the final. Any clues down in the chat, because the Who Am I is off to a flyer from Dylan. It's got to be Tottenham or Sunderland. Because the Genus one could be either. From Tottenham or Newcastle. So let's focus on the Sunderland side of things. But then Nzogbia, who's that going to be? That's where the difficulty comes, isn't it? Clue 1. Andrew, welcome along. Lovely to have you here. Dylan, clue 1. I started my career in 1998. Oh. So this is going to be someone who I would presume is either retired or playing in non-league now. So I'm guessing it's going to be one of those players who were quite experienced when they got to Sunderland. I mean, I'm almost tempted not to praise Mitchell for his performance there. because I don't think we're going to get much out of it. And he did still miss a penalty. But now we can get through a few of the league games. We've still got a glimmer of hope of chasing second, but I think it's unlikely at this point. So what sort of era Sunderland are we talking about for Borini and for Darren Bent? Were they ever there together? It must have been around the sort of 11, 12. I'm thinking around that sort of time. But I might be going too soon or too late there. So, whenabouts were Bent? I reckon I might be too early there. Because that was still... Was it still Roy Keane's time? Or was it Steve Bruce by that point? Oh, this is an absolute humdinger. What a start. At what point would they have been there together? John Jermaine Defoe, you're probably right, aren't you? But he played with Nzogbia, though. I'm not sure he would have played with Nzogbia. Pano, welcome along. Lovely to have you here. Nice to see another new face down in the chat. Thank you for coming and getting involved. We've just progressed to the Scottish Cup final, which will make Saturday's finale to this series an absolute cracker. Borini could be Liverpool gaming. That's a very good point. You can forget that he played there, didn't you? Not Defoe. Oh, the Liverpool's thrown a curveball because you've put another club in the mix there. And Nzogbia, Dylan's only going to have put it in there if it's Wigan. I'm sure of it. It's not going to be Newcastle, is it? But then still, the Darren Bent and Woodgate, the Woodgate and Genus could be. And what about the Kieran Dyer? Because if Newcastle's not the link for them, then we're adding an awful lot of clubs into the mix here. Because Darren Bent could be Charlton still as well from the mid-2000s. There's loads about. It's a really good one. And I'm trying to think of a player that would have been sort of in the early 2000s sticker books I was doing. It's got to have been Premier League at that point, haven't they? Manquillo won't have played with Kieran Dyer. And he's too young. He wouldn't have started in 1998. But got 4 out of 6 there at least. And you're doing better than me because I can't even think of a name at the minute. See, actually, I think the one thing I think you're pretty right is I'm not sure that Borini's going to be a Sunderland link now. It's the 98. It's got to be someone who's retired. And that's where the difficulty is, isn't it? And when was Bent at Tottenham? It was late 2000s, wasn't it? But I'm going to go with the Newcastle link still. So whenabouts did Woodgate go there? Was he... It was 2000s, wasn't he? So I'm trying to work out as well when the first link would have been there. What would have been the first club in that chain? That's where the difficulty comes again, isn't it? I mean, how many times am I going to say that? Because there are just so many stumbling blocks. You get 4 or 5 different clubs in your head and you get obsessed with it. And we saw last week that doesn't always work out. So Jonathan Woodgate was at Newcastle, what? 2003? Because then he went off to the Galacticos, didn't he? So, should we look at... Let's go for Newcastle that era, because I reckon Kieran Dyer was there. And I'm going to put that as the link for those two. We're just going to say it. John Darren something. Which Darren's that? Darren Ambrose, are you thinking? Oh! I don't think he would have played with Borini, would he? But Darren Ambrose is a great shout, because I completely forgot he was at Spurs for a little while as well, wasn't he? He was at Newcastle. Charles and Nzogbia, Villa maybe? What was he at? I don't know which club they would have clashed at. It's the Borini bit that's getting me. But that's the best shout of the lot so far by a mile. You might be right with that. And if not, then we're in real trouble because I don't know who else to go for. I really think you might be on something with Darren Ambrose. I'm trying to think where the Borini bit is though. I don't think there is one. I think that's potentially where it goes. We need Dylan to put us out of our misery to know if we still need a guess or not. I'm hoping for your sake it is right and for ours. If not, I have got another name to throw in the ring. But I'm not sure it's right again. Because it's the Borini link on every single one. It's not Ambrose. See, I was thinking Lee Bowyer. But he's going to be the same, isn't he? Lee Bowyer won't have played with Borini. But I'm pretty sure he's played with the rest. Oh, what What a crack at the start. Let's have a look. I can't think beyond those who would have played with the rest of them. Unless it means that the Newcastle link's wrong, of course. Which it could well be. I currently play non-league football is clue 3. So that's not Lebo, you then. Oh my word. You're making it difficult. Oh, I've got it. I've got it, Dylan. I've got it. It's not Danny Hilton Gaming. I know exactly who it is. He was part of that Newcastle centre-half partnership, I believe, that was the clumsiest in the Premier League's history. Was it Titus Bramble? Because he's been at Sunderland. He's been at Newcastle. Where else has he been? It's got to be Bramble. Please let it be Titus Bramble. What a superstar. Rangers in the Scottish Cup final. No silverware for you. I've put the wrong one. I forgot. I think it's Titus. We'll wait for Dylan to confirm it. Oh, it is Rangers in the final, isn't it? You're absolutely right. I don't think we're going to be winning that one. We'll go and see where it's scheduled as well. Dylan. Oh, Titus Bramble. Go on, son. That's the one we were looking for. Fantastic stuff. A great start to the morning, though. Morning? It's nearly 6 o'clock in the evening, I can assure you. Let's go and get through to this Celtic game and we'll have a look at the schedule to see where that Rangers game's been put in. Hopefully it's the final thing of the season. So it'll be a proper grandstand finish then. Thank you all for your incredible support as always as well. It's lovely to have you along. We're in the final week of our Dundee United save. But don't worry, even in the interim period where we don't have streams here, we will still be live on Twitch with Ballymena. And then we'll come up with a plan for the Euros as well. I hope you all enjoyed the mini Scotland series that started on Sunday as well. It seems to have gone down really well. So thank you to everyone that's given that a try. And let's see where the Rangers game's scheduled. Please be the last one of the season. It is. So this evening, we'll definitely get through Celtic, Hamilton. We'll try and do Aberdeen as well. And then we'll just have the 3 games to finish off the season. Jacob, you won't be getting 3 penalties in that cup tie. Dylan, you went from I haven't got a clue to, oh, I've got it in about 5 seconds. It's just, sometimes they just come to you, don't they? You end up 10 minutes frustrated and then it pops in. Jacob, you won't be getting 3 penalties. I know I won't be getting 3 penalties. Rangers might, though. That's the problem. If Rangers get 3 penalties, we're in a spot of bother. Celtic away is probably our dwindling hope of second place gone because we are 7 points behind them with 5 to go. If we beat them, it's 4, of course. And then if Rangers beat them, great. But actually, I mean, Celtic were ahead for a long time, weren't they? And Rangers have just come out of nowhere to win it. Which probably doesn't bode well for the cup final in terms of their quality. But we can dream still, can't we? The only problem with the Scottish League when you get to this stage and you're not in anything else is you have a week between all the fixtures, don't you? And you end up getting very frustrated waiting to pass through the games as you watch everyone else succeed in Europe and do really well. Gaming, who am I? We've got a club one. I've played for Liverpool, Chelsea, Stoke, Wigan, West Ham, Spartak Moscow, Inter Fenerbahce. I reckon I can get this one. Because there can't be many that have played for those 5 clubs in England together. Franco Di Santo. Oh, Dylan. Is it not? I thought it would have been. Who's he not played for out of them? I've got to go and look at him now. He was at Blackburn as well, wasn't he? He's never played for half the clubs. I thought you'd just come up with some inspired genius there, hadn't you? Like you, though. I thought he played for West Ham, but apparently not. There can't be many players that have played for those 5. When I saw the Chelsea and Stoke, I went straight to John Obi Mikel, but obviously it's not going to be him. Liverpool, Chelsea, Stoke. Oh. Surely between just those you can get it. That's a real difficult one, isn't it? Because you think, oh, it's got to be a small pool of players, but then everyone you think about is going to be ruled out, isn't it? So it doesn't make it easy. I am presuming, though, it's going to be someone who's gone on loan from one of those clubs a lot. Oh, I know who it is. I know who it is. It is a former Chelsea League and Cup winner, isn't it? It's Victor Moses. Hopefully I'm not wrong and I haven't made myself look silly. You always forget that he had a spell at Liverpool again. That's the problem with these ones. You completely forget he played for Liverpool. But yeah, Victor Moses is definitely the man. I'm pretty sure of it. Although, did he play for Spartak Moscow? Oh, now I'm doubting myself. I mean, if I only ever got one guess at these things, I'd probably never go for one because I keep talking myself out of them all. Dylan thinks he's got it and I think I've ruined it. It is Victor Moses. I'm sorry, Dylan. I stole your thunder too soon, didn't I? I can only apologise. I think that's the worst thing as well. On the YouTube one, the playback is further behind than it is on Twitch. So on Twitch, it's only like a 10-second delay, whereas here it's 30 or 40 seconds. Okay, I mean, that was quicker than I thought. See, I'm having a good day today. I say after it took me 10 minutes to get tight as Bramble and moaning for 9 that I wouldn't have a clue. Perhaps not quite what I was hoping to get away with. Right, let's go and get through the pre-match press conference for Celtic. I mean, if we lose this, we can essentially just say we've finished third. Let's go and focus on the Scottish Cup final. Go on, chuck another one in. Do another with Wigan in it. And then I'll keep quiet so Dylan can get it, because I'm not being fair to him, am I? Thank you to everyone who's coming in. It's lovely to have you all here this evening. I hope you're enjoying the stream. I hope you're enjoying all the videos on the channel. And I hope we can pass 2,500 soon. It would be a brilliant achievement. Thank you to everyone who's checked us out and subscribed over on Twitch as well. It does make a big difference there. And come and follow along. We're live every single week with FM21. We've reached the Celtic game though, and we have got fitness tests. No one that really matters there, I don't think. Ivanov's not fit, so he's going to have to stay out of the squad today. We can't give him his chance yet. Sterling's got a knock as well. So onto the bench goes Ali McCann. Dehaney's got to go in there for Xander Clark. The rest will stay the same. Celtic v Dundee United. Can we cause a shock and get back in the hunt for the top two? Dylan, keep weakening everyone. Got to be someone who's played for Wigan for Dylan. That's only fair, as he does most of the who am I's. He gets to choose what's in his ones. I'll make a special effort for the next few weeks to make sure I've got some ready. I'll do mine in the Twitch streams on the Sundays though. Let's get into the first half at Celtic Park. I mean, it's an interesting one for two reasons, isn't it? We can get into the top two hunt. And Rangers, if we beat Celtic, can wrap up the title. If Celtic win and Rangers drop points, the title race is back on, as Josimovic can't get on the end of that, and Christie brings it away. Part of our Scotland squad in that new series, obviously. And McCrory is as well, as he's given away possession there. Helder Costa nicks it. He's gone all the way. There's no pressure at all. And there you go. Second place is gone. Just like that, we throw it away. Celtic too good. Far too good. And that goal, I mean, the fact that the centre-halves have parted like the Red Sea is one problem. But the finish is another concern in itself. Slightly disappointing. Hamilton are trailing to Rangers, Hamilton are our opponents next week as Helder Costa heads in again. The man's on a perfect hat-trick after 24 minutes. It's not a very good sign, is it? So, yes, the cup final's great, but if we go into it in poor form, and if Rangers go into it with a title, have we realistically got any chance at all? El Gaming, who am I? I've played for Wigan, Villarreal, Manchester United, and El Nacional. One just for Dylan. Wigan, Villarreal. Oh, what's his name? Antonio Valencia. Nice and easy. The Colombian link gets there. Did Valencia, did he play for Villarreal? That's the only bit I couldn't put together. The other three work out, but I wouldn't have automatically gone Villarreal. Oh, only 2 appearances. Well, that's fair enough. Yeah, not a very good defence at all, Jacob. You're absolutely spot on there. I think we should trick Dylan next time. We'll say we'll give him all Wigan ones on Sunday and then give him all ones that aren't, because he's finding them too easy when they're Wigan. So at half time, we trail 2-0. The defence is collapsing, as Jacob rightly says. So let's go and get into the second half. Let's try and get it over with and try and cling on, as it's a throw-in for Celtic on the left. They've got a chance to make it 3 here. Thank you to everyone coming in as always. It's lovely to have all the regulars in. Nice to see a couple of new names in the chat occasionally too. It's great to have you all along as Hendricks picks it up in midfield. I think talking moving to the future, I think we'll give up commentating on this game as it seems to be over. Let's just catch up with the chat quickly. I'll do a very hard one. Go on then. The one thing I was going to say moving forward is streaming wise, I think Twitch, I can see why people prefer it. In terms of viewers, it seems to be much more interactive. In terms of me streaming, it's much more closer to real time. It's only about 10 seconds behind, as we mentioned, whereas this one is between 30 and 40 seconds. So I think moving forward, I will do the main bulk of streaming on Twitch. But I still want to do like head coach transfer specials and things related to the YouTube series on YouTube too. So I think that's going to be part of the plan for the summer. But I do want to do something Euros based as well. And I don't know whether it's better to do that here or over there. So we'll wait and see. But we're coming forward here for a rare foray in attack. Unfortunately, it's a little bit easy to deal with. Jacob, this reminds me of the performances for Segrist. You're not wrong, mate. You're not wrong. It's been really bad. And Celtic look like they can cut us open as soon as they want to. Thank you to everyone joining along as well. As Celtic are in for a third, and there it is. Helder Costa turns provider. And unfortunately, that's probably going to lead to a big defeat because they're matching Rangers who are flying against Hamilton too. I would have made some of the changes if Ivanov could have been on the bench. I think we will do it in a second. I have no idea where the marking was there or what the keeper was doing. Let's go and make changes. We have got Dehaney can have a rare game. He'll come on for Brookin at right back. Scott Mitchell up front's been awful. Let's get Shankland on. And Matt O'Reilly can be replaced by Jordan Holsgrove because he doesn't get many games now either. 20 minutes to go. 3-0 Celtic. Game over. Race for second over. And we are now reliant on Saturday morning to finish with a cup final win. Against Rangers, we know it's unlikely, but let's live in hope, eh? Right, so no Wigan in this one, but we've got Wrexham in there. I've played for Wrexham, Fylde, Bradford, Macclesfield. Fylde again. Newport. Who's the next one? Because you've gone on autocorrect there, I think. Crewe, Queen's Park, Rangers, Rotherham and Southend. Oh. That's a difficult one. So it's got to be someone who's either Scottish or spent a significant amount of time there. It's the Macclesfield bit, because that's an era of Macclesfield I should know. I'm trying to think Rotherham and Southend as well. And the fact you've thrown Wrexham in there is going to be a thrower. Didn't mean to put Fylde twice. We've lost 3-0 to Celtic. We'll come back to that in a second. I mean, we're just demotivating them every time we speak now. Preston, autocorrect. Fair enough. Right, Newport, Preston, Crewe, Queen's Park, Rangers, Rotherham and Sunderland. Ferdinand has played for QPR and Rotherham. Cup final win, Jacob. It's not looking good, is it? So Dylan Anton, St Mirren would have been in there, wouldn't it? I think he's played for Southend, though. Rangers are finished in the top 2. That's definite. And the next game, Celtic will do the same. Not a great performance, is it, really? Hamilton will be the next one up. Hopefully we can get a win there. Oh, that's a very difficult one. I'm trying to get the QPR Rotherham Southend bit together. Because that's one that I reckon we can do. But then some of those other clubs, they make it a bit more difficult than I was thinking it was going to be. There is someone I had in mind, but he hasn't played for half the clubs, which is a slight issue. Oh dear. There's some crackers in here today. Dylan, I need your help as much as on the Wigan ones. We haven't turned up with them today, have we? Please do chuck a thumbs up on it if you haven't already. It's lovely to have you all along. Let's go and get through to this Hamilton game and just try and get it out the way. Jasimovic did sign a new deal, by the way, that hasn't got a sell-on clause in it. A minimum fee release, sorry. So he's going to be one staying for a while. We are still preparing Dundee United for the future, even if we won't be here. First Clue game in. Yeah, I think we're going to need one. I think we're going to need a clue. Yeah, Dylan's in agreement. Clue's very much needed today. I'm trying to put those last 3 clubs together. Harrison, welcome along. Lovely to have you here. Thank you for coming and joining in. It's great to see some new faces in and amongst all the regulars. We've got a big Who Am I this evening. I've played for Wrexham, Fylde, Bradford, Macclesfield, Newport, Preston, Crewe, QPR, Rotherham and Southend. We've had a couple of crackers already. We have reached the Scottish Cup final, which will be the final episode on Saturday morning. And we're struggling our way to 3rd in the league. I tell you what I didn't look at is how far ahead of 4th are we? 15 points, so we're safe there. At least that means Europa League for Dundee United, for whoever ends up taking over. So they've recommended we sign 2 of the 2-star potential players. Played his first game for Crewe. Matty Hughes. Oh, that's a name I wouldn't have thought of, to be honest. I don't know if it covers all of the clubs. At 28 it shouldn't do. But who else could it be? That's the question. Lives around the corner from me, Dylan. That's an easy pick then. First game for Crewe though. I mean, we probably should have worked that out based on the fact that the Crewe Academy produces everyone. But that's really good. I'm still trying to put together Rotherham, QPR and Southend, because I feel like that would answer it for me. It's very difficult. So I hope you're all enjoying the stream. I hope you're not having as much excruciating fun as the Who Am I as I am, because I am struggling to get anywhere near some of these. So QPR, Rotherham and Southend. I've got to get those 3 together. We can do the rest afterwards. And then we can work out if they've made their debut for Crewe. I was going to go for someone like Ryan Hall, but he started at Palace because he's someone who had been at loads of clubs. Oh, this is very, very tough. I think we're going to need another clue. Why is everyone's Matty auto-correcting to Marty? I didn't know it was that common a one. Thank you to everyone coming in as well. It's lovely to have you all here. Come and get involved in the Who Am I. I was going to say, Dylan, I'm not sure I know a footballer by that name. Oh dear. Barry Conlon's not a bad shout. There's got to be a few clubs missing there though, hasn't there? And he started at a different club. But a lot of them are in there, to be fair to you. Harrison, have you reached any finals yet? So in Season 1, we had a bit of a dream world. We reached and won the League Cup final. We shocked Celtic there. Since then, it's just been a procession of finishing 3rd and struggling. Last season, we reached the League Cup final again. We actually avoided the Old Firm. We played Hamilton and managed to throw it away. And this season, we've just reached at the start of this stream, we got through to the Scottish Cup final. If we have a look at the result, we beat Dunfermline 4-0. But in Saturday's stream, the final one of the series, we're going to be playing Rangers. And they are heavy favourites to beat us. So that's going to be a little bit of a spot of bother. Clue 2. I've never played for the first team for Southend and Preston. Ah. So we've got a player who's been in a lot of youth teams. And across the country as well. Jamal Campbell-Rice. I don't think he would have started at Crewe, would he? Jamal Campbell-Rice. And he hasn't played for Wrexham, has he? No. Both of those facts missing, unfortunately. If you haven't yet, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. If you're enjoying the live streams and you're new along, please do follow on Twitch as well. We have regular live streams over there too. And thank you to everyone for the incredible support as always. I've really appreciated the support on the Food Channel Trader as well. I'm glad it's gone down as well as I hoped it had. And of course, we'll be starting the videos over there next month too. Not long to go now. And I want to try and do something Euros based there as well, but I'm not sure we're going to be able to. So, it's the bit, the debut for Crew that's throwing me. I think the era's the thing I'm going to have to rely on. Although, there's quite a lot of good players out there, aren't there? I'm wondering if it'll be one of the Welsh ones they produced or something like that. Because there's a lot of players that, I mean, you just run out of options in the end. There's so many of them, aren't there? There's loads of offers coming in from the MLS for some of our players. Not Connor Washington. He would have started in Northern Ireland, I presume. There's some real good ones in here. The problem is the Crew Youth Academy ones, there could be about 60 or 70 of them, couldn't there? I was thinking it might be Billy Jones, but I don't think he's played for half the clubs either. And then we're taking in that Preston and Southend thing again, which is throwing me even more. And I'm trying to put together some of the other clubs, which I'm struggling with as well. We're going to need more clues. Clue 3, yes please. Oh, Reece Taylor from John. That's a pretty good suggestion. But I think he came through at Chelsea, if I remember rightly. Yeah, he did. Although he did make his debut for Crew. He went on loan to Southend and Preston and didn't play. I think you might have nailed it. Played for Wrexham, played for Macclesfield, played for Files. John, you deserve a round of applause for that. That is incredible work. That's stunning. I just ruled him out because he was a Chelsea youth product. I didn't think his first appearance for Crew would be somewhere out on loan. I assumed it would have been academy based. John, you're an absolute genius. That's incredible knowledge, that. He used to be a very good keeper in the old FMs, didn't he? Ivanov's back in training. He's gone up to 2-star now. He's actually almost as good as Shankland, which is frightening at 15. We've got through to the Hamilton game. Let's try and rush through a couple more before we're finished. John, you got one. I would argue that's one of the hardest so far. And for you to have nailed that is incredible work. I'm waiting for another one in the next few weeks. I think it only happens on Twitch where you can get them in a minute. The Pascal Chimbonda one, I'll never break that moment. I don't think I'll ever beat it. I had to clip it. It was that good. Right, let's have a look at the lineup for today. I think we just go same again. We're only playing once a week. We know what our first team is. Is there a way we can get Ivanov on the bench? I'm not quite sure. Oh, game, you didn't put the youth on. Fair enough. But then again, I assume the Southend and Preston not playing for them would be youth. I didn't even think I'll back up goalkeeper. I've managed to break FM here for a minute. It seems to have paused for a slight moment. So we'll enjoy looking at the lineup screen for a minute or two. I'm not quite sure what's caused it, but let's see if we can get into it. Okay, we're back. So Ivanov is going to be on the bench at the expense of... I'll tell you what, let's talk to Haney out, and then we'll put Sterling in for Mikey Johnston, and that's what we're going to go for. If we can get Ivanov a debut, he's thoroughly deserved it, because he's a wonderful young talent. He's probably the best that's ever come through. Let's give him number 23. And to bring a Bulgarian through the youth intake as well. Slightly different to normal. Absolutely, Dylan. Dylan, you got Antonio Valencia for 15 seconds. I'm not counting that. That's like me getting a Luton one within a minute. I'm not having that. It only counts if it's not one for the club you support. You can have a well done, but you're not having it to be one of the best ones ever. And I'm standing by that. Although I would probably struggle to get Luton ones in a minute, so I might be contradicting myself there. But John steals the show with that one, because that was an incredible effort. Let's get into the first half against Hamilton. They are the side in 6th, and we're playing them at home, so it really is the game we should win. As Lord gets it into the box, it's blocked down for O'Reilly. We still can't get it in, but it's bumbling around all over the place there. Bobbling is the word I was actually looking for. It's pinball in the box. It goes to the back post to Mengi. He's still up there to Mokri. Why did he pass there? No one wants to shoot, and eventually it just dwindles away. It's a strange moment there. Dylan, I'm sorry. I have to say that. You can get me back for that. If you do a Luton one in the future and I can't get it within a couple of minutes, then you can have it back. But I'm sure I'll get proven wrong. Thank you to everyone supporting as well. It does make a massive difference. If you haven't already, please do chuck a thumbs up. Come and get involved in the chat and say hello. It's lovely to have you along. And of course, we'll be live with this series, the finale, on Saturday morning at 10:30. And then on Sunday at the same time, we'll be live on Twitch with Ballymena United. And we've got European action there after our first season. Gaming, I've played for Wrexham, Northampton, Yeovil, Walsall, Maidenhead, Cambridge. Right, Northampton and Cambridge are relatively local. So I should work that out. I'm trying to think Wrexham. The Who Am I's are so fun. We do owe Dylan a big thank you on the channel. And you will get a remembrance of that for starting this series. The Who Am I is now more entertaining than... Maybe we can do that in the Euros. Is that maybe an idea? Is instead of live streaming Football Manager and trying to concentrate on a game as well, as we've got to half time at 0-0, should we just watch the Euros games as a watch along? Like some of the sort of niche ones, like the Austria v Macedonias, none of the big games, none of the big nations. We'll just watch those games and play Who Am I's if the games are boring. I think maybe we should do that. Alex Nichols, that's a brilliant shout. I'm sure I've had him in an old FM at some point. He did agree to an interview on the podcast, but we never got there in the end. I'm just looking at the clubs to see if you've missed anyone there. Dylan is a legend for coming up with the Who Am I's, absolutely. No, Cambridge isn't on there, Alex. Dylan, sorry, for Alex Nichols. With 25 minutes to go here, we're in a spot of bother. I might need to concentrate on the FM for a minute. As Winter shoots, Ziga tips over and we're struggling. So, when you're struggling, what do? You chuck on a kid. So, winger on support for Sterling. Mockery will be replaced by Ivanov. We've got to find a way to get him in the team. I mean, Mitchell hasn't had a good game, but he's got great ratings. O'Reilly's been poor. McCrory's complacent. So, let's put Lord and O'Reilly in centre mid. Let's replace McCrory on the left wing with... I haven't got anyone. Oh dear. Do I put Jazimovic up on the left wing? I've no idea why he's rated he can play there. Holsgrove must be able to do it. He can. So, inverted winger for him. And then we'll just chuck two up front. It's not something we've done for a while. We'll go attacking. Who's the more left-footed of the two? Ivanov is right-footed. Mitchell is right only. So, Mitchell will stay there as an advanced forward. Ivanov... In fact, Ivanov's going to be the advanced forward. Mitchell will be a poacher. There we go. Two up top. 25 minutes to go. Let's get the kid on and throw everything at it. Yes, that's a good idea. Lovely to hear it. Hopefully people will enjoy that. Done. Dylan is correct. Which done is that? I'm having a mind block. Dylan scored in a 3-3 against Wigan in 2013. It's amazing the things you remember, isn't it? The amount of ones you get just from the playoff heartbreaks and things like that. And despite making the changes, it's 0-0 at the end. And what's more worrying is we didn't dominate that match. Ivanov did okay when he came on, to be fair. But we're falling out of form just before a cup final, which really isn't a good sign. Everything links to Wigan. If that's the way you work it out, then fair play to you. It's Chris Dunn. Right. Let me have a little look at him. So goalkeepers galore tonight, isn't it? We're only going to do one more game. We'll get through the Aberdeen one. They beat Celtic. Oh, that's even more annoying. Celtic have lost a game now, and we've done nothing about it. Oh, that's infuriating. So, we're third for sure now. We've bottled the chance to get back in touching distance. I didn't realise he'd played so many games, Chris Dunn. I mean, he'd been a backup keeper a lot of the time. But again, I suppose he played a lot for Wrexham. I didn't realise he'd played so many games for Northampton. But Chris Dunn it is. Let's get through the final game of the evening, which will be Aberdeen at home. And then we'll come back on Saturday morning for the grandstand finish. A game against Rangers in the league and the Scottish Cup final. A final chance to get a trophy. And Hibernian away as well. A club we've managed in the head coach this year. So it'd be nice to have a little reunion of them as well. but certainly not in ideal form going in towards it. Don't worry, I've got loads links to Wrexham. I don't know how many more we'll have time for this evening. Probably only one, because I think we'll only be on Aberdeen there. Dylan, get Wigan in there. It's harder when your club's not in, isn't it? You end up throwing yourself in all sorts of places. All sorts of places, sorry. Do we want to sign Hornby and Webster? I mean, I'm not that worried, and they've not got that much potential, so let's just leave it. We're not going to be here next season. We don't need to worry about the state they're in. No, I want it to be a hard one, absolutely. It's got to be a difficult one if we're doing it. One that will take up the rest of today's stream. Oh, Aberdeen have got Reece Norrington-Davies at left back. For those who don't know about him, he left Luton in mid-season in real life. He was on loan from Sheffield United. He left for Stoke to go to a bigger club and be involved in a promotion chase. And Luton finished the season above Stoke. It's amazing how these things work out sometimes. Let's get Ivanov into the under-23s or the under-19 game. Donaldson's back to fitness now. He can go in there as well, as can Lewis Nielsen. And it's not really an excuse to get the rest involved, is there? Just sort of petering out the season. Oh! Harrison's in. And I tell you what, Dylan, you have nailed that. I wasn't even close to knowing. Dylan deserves a medal. Harrison, I thought that was a pretty difficult one. And Dylan is straight in with the answer. And I tell you what, you've nailed it. That's incredible work. Harrison, brilliant for getting involved. I'm glad Dylan did that because I would have been in excruciating pain for about 5 minutes trying to work it out at least. Ah, Dylan, incredible effort. And it's the first one you've got quickly that hasn't got Wigan in it. Even better work, isn't it? There's more takeover talk here. Chris Mokri and Nenad Jasimovic both pick up injuries. They're going to miss the next game. Harrison, I feel for you there because Dylan's pulled that one out of the bag. I'm not quite sure where from. I'm not sure I would have done it that quickly. He got to the answer just as I was reading it out. We've got another one popping in. Let's bear with it. We have got 5 days to go till Aberdeen. 10 seconds, Dylan. I have to go back and look after to see if you're right on 10 seconds. That's very, very impressive. It's the thing, I have the mind block. It takes me 2 minutes to work out which clubs to put, or which players for which clubs and things like that. So, doing better than me there. I suppose you just get the odd one where it just instinctively comes to you, don't you? Because, I mean, it's the same as the Chimbonda one. That was a difficult one on paper and just instantly I knew it. Yeah, see, that's the thing. For each person, you just get the odd one that just makes it stick out for you, don't you? And one that's harder on paper makes it easier. I was going to say, oh, gaming, I agree. I thought it was a pretty good one. Thank you for getting involved. And Dylan, unfortunately, I mean, he created this quiz, so he's supposed to be the best at it, isn't he? Yeah, I Cardiff on loan would have been the one that probably got it for me. L Gaming, who am I? I've played for Wrexham, Bradford, Halifax, Cambridge, Bradford Park Avenue, Guiseley, Luton, Darlington, Boston and Gainsborough. Oh, Luton are in there. Now, I'm guessing based on the other clubs he's played for, it will be part of that stage where we were signing very non-league players. But I'm trying to work out who would have been at that level. And I'm trying to think who we had that would have been with you guys. I'm trying to get the Bradford link as well. I feel like if I can get Wrexham, Luton and Bradford, I'll have had it. But this is going to be embarrassing if I don't get the Luton Town one, isn't it? But this is the problem. I'm now going to end up overthinking it, aren't I? Oh, why am I making it hard for myself? We're going to have to stump Dylan now. Come on, Dylan. If you're so good, you've got to come and get this non-league one now. Or what? You've got to get 2 in a row before you can claim you're the master. Thank you to everyone getting involved in the chat and in the Hermise as well. It does make a massive difference. It's really enjoyable. You didn't realise this player played for Luton. That's probably not a good sign for me, is it? Because I'm trying to think of like our worst non-league players. And I don't know whether that's a good strategy or not. Liam Hatch. Oh, I think you've got it. All I remember about him, I mean, he wasn't as good as he was made out to be. But what he did was... No, Liam Hatch hasn't played for Wrexham. All he did for us was get sent off in a big FA Cup tie on TV. No, Liam Hatch hasn't played for Wrexham. I thought you had it there as well, to be fair. Thank you to everyone coming in and for the extra thumbs up as well. We're nearly at the final game of the evening. And we'll host Aberdeen before the grand finale on Saturday morning with a Scottish Cup final there as well. I don't know why I've made it difficult for myself. I'm now trying to put people together and there was probably no need for me to do it. I'm trying to think of players. I'm trying to work out where we would assign the player from as well. Oh, I was trying to think Paul Carden. Because he played for Wrexham, Cambridge and Luton. But I don't think he's played for half the others. Harrison, yeah, Derby on the final day. It was an interesting game. So we have a podcast channel where we do championship predictions every match day. I actually went for Rotherham to stay up and one of the others went for Sheffield Wednesday on the final day. And none of us got it right. But I think Derby were fortunate. And there's still talk now about them being sanctioned by the EFL. So unfortunately this might end up getting decided off the pitch. And if it doesn't, they'll probably start with a points deduction next year, which will put them in the same position as Sheffield Wednesday this time, won't it? But yeah, it was a thrilling game considering both teams could barely score a goal for the weeks before it. It's not Paul Carden, no, it's just the three main clubs. Yeah, we're going to need Clue 1, I think. But yeah, the Championship's the best league in the world. There's always drama. And obviously as a Luton fan, my club play in that league, so we're becoming quite the regulars now. The only game I saw live this season when they were trialling fans going back in was Preston at home. So they're the only club I know. Yeah, Charlie, there you go. There's one of the podcast hosts. He's gutted Sheffield Wednesday didn't stay up. It was a really good end to the season. It's just a shame Darren Moore was unwell. If he'd been available for those 2 or 3 games he missed, maybe they would have snuck an extra win somewhere. Maybe they would have snuck an extra goal, but you can't have it every way. It's going to make League One an unbelievable league next season as well, though, with the 7 or 8 different teams in there that have got real quality and real pedigree. I'm still trying to work this one out. Yeah, that's it, Harrison. If Derby get the points deduction, then what happens? Because let's not rule out Sheffield Wednesday might get a longer one as well. Theirs got halved, and then they've not paid their players on time in April. So we could end up still with a situation where Rotherham and Wycombe stay up, which would just be remarkable given the situation, wouldn't it? So I'm not quite sure what to make of it. It's a shame that it's not been settled on the pitch. That's the thing I would say. And I think any sanctions that come now will be added next season. Whether it's Sheffield Wednesday starting in the minus, whether it's Derby starting with a points deduction. But it could be interesting either way. Right, looking at our lineup for today. Yasimovic can't play. Mokri can't play. So let's get in Jason Kerr and Dujon Sterling. And on the bench, we've got Johnston, a ready-made replacement, and I think Stuart Finley. Into the game we go. The league games, not really of much importance now. John Simon Inger, not sure of his last name. And L Gaming's clue was he made his senior debut for Bradford City in the 2006 season. Dylan, not Luke Trotman. He's a Luton and Nuneaton. He's not played for many of the other clubs. And obviously 2006 now would be too old. Yeah, Charlie, that was it. The Sheffield Wednesday game against Luton was the crucial one. And the sad thing for them, and you think Luton were in a bit of danger at that point. That was the weekend before that is when we looked like we were in a bit of trouble. If Darren Moore had been in charge before that game, rather than them reacting afterwards, which again goes down to the ownership, I reckon Sheffield Wednesday win that game and Luton get dragged into some danger. It's amazing how the season can change, isn't it? Harrison, yes. I'm glad you're giving me an opportunity to plug. Did you hear that McAvoy got the Preston North End job? We just did a podcast on it today. It's just come out this lunchtime. I'm not surprised, but it will be interesting to see how he gets on because he's only a head coach as well, which Alex Neil used to be manager. So I'm interested to see how much he'll be involved in recruitment. Yeah, Fulham went down as well. Fulham and West Brom. We talked about it right at the start of the stream. I think that, unfortunately, the writing was on the wall a long time ago. But they'll both be up there next season if they keep their current managers. Because Parker's a decent manager. Sam Allardyce will take West Brom up. I've no doubt about that. It's a shame Bilic didn't get the chance to see it out. Because I thought he was good. But wasn't to be. As O'Reilly gets it right to Sterling. Can we get a goal? Into O'Reilly who heads over. Another chance goes begging. So, I'm trying to get back to this Who Am I gaming. I think we need another clue. John, it might be, but we need a full name. Greg Taylor's a good shout, Dylan. John, it might be right, but I need the full name. Let's go and have a look. I don't think I can actually help with the name either. Oh, I know who it is. Yes, I know who you mean. It's Simon Ainge, isn't it? He's definitely got it right. Simon Ainge is the man. He had a loan spell at Luton where he was interesting, shall we say. But it was because we had a void to fill and we weren't going to get promoted. John, spot on, well done. Excellent effort. Dylan, Greg Taylor's not a bad shout, to be fair. Again, played for the main clubs, hasn't he? Or the bigger named reputation clubs, I should say there. Simon Ainge, John, you are on fire this evening. Give yourself a round of applause and a pat on the back. Get yourself a treat. It was a fantastic outcome, that. Charlie, thoughts on Bradford City? I don't know what to say. How can you get two managers? Take it. Oh, I can't take the credit for that. I would never have got it if John hadn't got it. If John hadn't put that name in, I would have been waiting for half an hour. So John gets all the credit for that one. I mean, this final game is going into a whimper, a bit like the Hamilton one did. But yeah, Charlie, Bradford's, I find it really frustrating. They did a wonderful job. I know they ended the season in average form, but they took them to safe with 7 games to spare from a relegation scrap. And I don't know what more these clubs want sometimes. I really don't know. I really don't know. John's not a non-league footballer. He's just a genius one. He's just a genius of guessing the football players. Harrison, would you rank championship managers on a podcast channel? It's something we have thought of doing because they've done... I mean, it's not something we're big on, but we have done the odd tier or ranking thing. So we did ranking one for the January transfer window for signings from the clubs. We did a tier one for football documentaries. That was Craig and Charlie because I don't watch anything like that. But the problem is they're changing too quickly. That's the only difficulty. But I mean, hopefully all of the ones where they've been interims to the end of the season and that, if they get sorted out in the next month or so, maybe we will have a stint in June or July where it's just settled for a little while. At half-time here, though, we've dominated the match and still failed to score. I've got a feeling Scott Mitchell's coming into one of those little spells again where he won't score for a little while. And as long as he ends it in the cup final, I don't mind. John, same as me. That's where all of my... Between sort of FM05 and 09, all of my non-league knowledge came from signing players in FM and my League 2 and League 1 knowledge from signing players in FIFA career modes back then as a kid. But now, obviously the good thing since then is Luton have played in the National League and all the way up to the Championship. So you basically acquired knowledge just from going to watch football matches. Yeah, Charlie, most of the January transfer window was Preston because they sold half their squad and loaned in about 7 players. It's ridiculous. We've scored a goal. Scott Mitchell gets it. I'm aware that half of my sentences aren't making sense now. I've recorded loads of videos and podcasts today, so please do forgive me for that. I'll be back on form for Saturday and hopefully for Sunday as well. But it's good to get a lead. So let's take off a couple of the boys. We're going to go for... Let's go a bit of extra width for Serrano and Sterling. We'll take off O'Reilly for Ivanov. And we'll drop Mitchell in behind. Or in fact, should we just leave Ivanov in behind? He's just getting experience. Lord's knackered. He can be replaced by Mallon. And Serrano for Mikey Johnston. Let's look after our best players. So after all that, Johnston can go back to an inverted winger. And we're just trying to cling on for 1-0 basically. 22 minutes to go. In fun facts, Finley's missed 3 games. 3 days of training. He's been absent from training 3 times in the last month. So he's been getting a lot of fines as well. Can't remember the last time he would have taken home his wages. It looks like we're going to nick this 1-0 though. The scoring form has gone. So it could beat them Rangers. If they hadn't lost that Aberdeen game, they'd be right in the title race. El Gaming's Who Am I? Dylan's in 10-second territory again. That's 2 he's done that for today. But yeah, I think you're pretty much spot on with that one. Dylan is correct. There you go. 2 in 10 seconds for Dylan. He's on fire this evening. John, for me, has got the 2 difficult ones, so he deserves all the credit. And we're about to finish this evening stream with a 1-0 win, I think. Although, Aberdeen are on the attack. So, get your other Who Am I's ready for Saturday and Sunday, because we're going to have a big live stream with the Cup final on Saturday to finish off this series with Dundee United. I was going to say El Gaming before I've even read it. And then on Sunday, we'll be live on Twitch with Ballymena United. So do go and follow over there if you haven't already. And we'll have plenty to come over there too. But thank you all for the support this evening. We do finish on a win, which is nice. Let's go and have a look at what fixtures we've got for Saturday morning. Yes, Charlie. Matthew Tipton played with Ricky Lambert, didn't he? He spoke of him. He just said he was brilliant. It was a wonderful interview, actually. And Matthew Tipton now managing in Northern Ireland. He's had a bigger career than people realise. Dylan, I knew because I saw something about him. He was a factory worker and part-time footballer, then went to Southampton. Absolutely. Well, Bristol Rovers. Before Bristol Rovers, wasn't it? Right, so Dundee United beat Aberdeen. We will be back on Saturday morning for Rangers and Hibs away from home to finish the league season. And then the big one. Our final game of the series after 5 years of trying. We broke the old firm once and then fell away again. But we face Rangers in the Scottish Cup final. And we could finish with a trophy. El Gaming in the... Yes, thank you for your help with the Discord. It's much appreciated. I do appreciate the support from all of you. Oh, Harrison's finishing on a Who Am I? That's what I like to see. We've got a big name on as well. United, Barcelona, Bayern Munich. You like the new sub-colours? Oh, thank you. United, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, United again, Chelsea, Southampton, Everton, Blackburn. Oh, Mark Hughes, that's a good shout. I would have thought newer than that. You've touched Charlie's generation there, because Charlie's a few years older than me, so he would have watched Mark Hughes growing up. Sorry, Charlie, I've given away your age. Dylan, I'm not giving you that. You are a very... Unfortunately, you and El Gaming have got younger minds than me, which means you can think and put your thoughts together very quickly, which I've lost over the years. Harrison, I thought that's a pretty good one to finish on. And I like that it's a generational change as well. And if Charlie hadn't been in, that was on there. El Gaming's gone for Mark Hughes, he's a Welshman. Played 2 games in 1 day, Dylan. Not for me anymore. Mark Hughes, absolutely spot on. Well done, everyone. Harrison, thank you for finishing off with a Who Am I? It's much appreciated. And thank you for coming and getting involved. It's been lovely to have you all here. Thank you for the support. It is greatly appreciated. Well done to Charlie, to John, to El Gaming and to Dylan, who all got a Who Am I at some point. And thank you for coming and getting involved. It really is appreciated. We'll be live on Saturday morning for the Cup final and the final episode of this series. Now on Sunday, we're back on Twitch with Ballymena United. So please do come and follow along there. Loads of videos, daily videos over here as well. Please do check out the food channel trailer. It is